alliance that we call the Islamo-Marxist Alliance, the Red-Green Axis, the Red-Green Alliance, whatever you want to call it, the Marxist Jihadi Alliance or the Marxist Jihadi Axis. There's a lot of different names for this this concept, right, of this unholy alliance between the radical left, the communists, and the jihadists, right? That's why it's called the Red-Green Axis. Red for communism, green for Islam. So, you know, we have a serious problem in our country, and unfortunately, we saw that individuals within the new FBI last night, they changed their tune a bit this morning, but individuals in our own FBI last night, Republican lawmakers, and the media refused to call this what it was. It's an act of Islamic terror. You don't have to be a Muslim in order to carry out an act of Islamic terror. You can also be carrying out an act of terrorism on behalf of an Islamic entity, which is what this shooter, Elias Rodriguez, did. And we have the video. It's very graphic. We're going to play it for you tonight. And we can actually go ahead and play it now if you want. You can see what happened when the shooter was detained by police. He threw a kafia, the Islamic rag that these jihadists wear, on the floor, and he shouted, "Free, free Palestine. I did this for Gaza." So let's go ahead and play the clip, and then we're going to get into some of the ridiculous media coverage that is sanitizing the language, right? It's almost like we're reverting to the era of Barack Hussein Obama, where we were subjected to the sanitation of language as it relates to identifying acts of Islamic terrorism. So let's go ahead and play the clip. Viewer discretion is advised. It is very graphic. You know, this is in the aftermath of the shooting. So we're going to go ahead and play this so that you can see that this was, in fact, an act of Islamic terrorism.
Outside. No. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
So some people said, oh, you know, he appears to be a Hispanic individual from Chicago. Well, we don't know if he's an Islamic convert. Just because you're Hispanic doesn't mean that, you know, you can't convert to Islam. We've seen incidents in the past in our country where Hispanic individuals have converted to Islam. I mean, we saw this with the ISIS attack at the Fort Lauderdale airport that happened several years ago, where multiple people were shot and killed. And it was an Islamic convert, a Hispanic individual. I believe the guy was Puerto Rican, and he converted to Islam and packed a gun in his suitcase. And when he landed at the Fort Lauderdale airport, he took out the gun and he started shooting in the baggage claim, and he killed multiple people. And he said he did it for ISIS. So, you know, clearly an act of Islamic terrorism. He said he did this for Gaza, for the Palestinian people, because unfortunately, you know, the Democrat Party has really gotten people riled up. And there's a lot of Palestinian propaganda. I like to call it Pallywood, right? Like Hollywood, but for Palestinians. And look, are some innocent people dying? Yes. I'm not saying that it's okay to kill innocent children, but there are casualties in every war. And I think that people are forgetting the fact that the Palestinians also murdered a lot of innocent children and babies on the day of October 7th, when they decided to storm kibbutzes and they decided to carry out the Islamic terrorist attack known as October 7th. And so there's kind of like this double standard here going on, where they're saying, oh my God, it's a genocide. There's so many kids, and oh my God, you know, there's so many innocent women, and oh, so many innocent children who are being killed. But my question is where was the outrage for the Jewish community? Where was the outrage for the Israeli people, and also our own American citizens, many of which died in Hamas custody, one of which was just recently released thanks to the efforts of President Trump and his Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff. So the media has really ginned this up. They pushed out a lot of propaganda. They have spread Hamas propaganda by citing Hamas statistics, which are not reliable. We know that Hamas is stationed inside hospitals, inside Gaza, because they are using people as human shields, so that when Israel tries to attack or take out Hamas operatives, right, if something gets blown up, they can say, oh, look, they killed innocent civilians. Well, yeah, because Hamas is literally using all of these people in Gaza as human shields. So, you know, the people of Gaza could easily revolt against Hamas. They voted to elect these people. And people say, oh, well, the election was several years ago. They still voted to elect Hamas as their governing body. So Hamas is in control. Polling shows that over 90% of the people who live in Gaza actively support Hamas. They have families whose children want to become Hamas martyrs. They view it as a blessing on the family if somebody in their family becomes a martyr for the cause of jihad. And yet we see back-to-back coverage about this so-called genocide happening in Gaza. But look at what the media says when two young, innocent people, right? They say that young, innocent people are dying in Gaza. Well, where's the media to talk about this? Shooting near Capitol Jewish Museum kills 2 Israeli embassy. It wasn't a shooting. It was an Islamic terrorist attack. It was a targeted assassination. That's what it was. And so this headline is, in my opinion, disgraceful. You need to call it what it is, an act of Islamic terrorism. And we have other headlines too that we can show you. And we're going to get into some of this footage and some of the videos that were released today as well. 2 Israeli embassy staffers shot dead near Washington, D.C. Jewish Museum. They make it sound like they were just walking and taking a walk near the Jewish Museum and somebody in a drive-by shooting decided to shoot and kill them, when in reality, somebody stormed the facility where they were having an event. And ironically, this is what's really sad about it, is that this event was for peacemaking. So apparently there were Palestinian individuals invited to this event, and it was supposed to be Israeli officials meeting with Palestinians to try to get along to show that they could coexist, right? Or that they could work together on trying to find a peaceful solution to the end of the war between Israel and Hamas. So it's really tragic because it sounded like, this young couple, Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lashinsky, were actively trying to find a solution to the end of the war. And so